Stay ready, stay safe. Preparedness is the medicine for health emergencies. Good day, everyone. I am Thea Laua. And I am Therese Laua. And together with us are our groupmates Daffodil GEQUILAN, Madeleine Gomeri, and Faith JAUDINES. Today, we are going to present our research study entitled Level of Emergency Preparedness Among Selected Barangay Health Workers.
Healthcare workers today face increasing challenges from both environmental and human-centered emergencies, such as Super Typhoon Odette, the recent Canlaon volcano eruption, and the COVID-19 pandemic. These events have reshaped emergency preparedness strategies among healthcare workers, emphasizing the need for rapid, effective response to critical situations. Studies show, however, that healthcare workers in high-income countries are generally better prepared than those in low-income countries like the Philippines. In the Philippines, research reveals varying levels of preparedness across regions, with areas like Davao City showing high preparedness while others like Basilan report moderate levels. With this background, the researchers are motivated to determine the level of emergency preparedness of barangay health workers as a whole by areas of emergency preparedness and by profile variables.
Here onwards, we will be discussing the methods. A descriptive comparative research design was employed, a quantitative method that describes a phenomenon and compares naturally without variable manipulation. This objectively measures emergency preparedness and compares meaningful differences according to demography. Now, for the participants, the study involved 145 barangay health workers from a population of 228, determined using Sloban's formula with a 5% margin of error. A cluster sampling method grouped barangays by direction: north for cluster 1, south for cluster 2, east for cluster 3, and west for cluster 4. The research instrument is a modified standardized questionnaire composed of 3 parts: participants' profile, types of emergencies, and emergency preparedness information questionnaire with a Cronbach's alpha score 0.930, good and skates score 4.42.
Now onto the results and discussions of the study. Profile of barangay health workers showed that majority were female at 92%, reflecting cultural beliefs that caregiving is traditionally a woman's role. Most were aged 41 to 50 at 35%, followed by 31 to 40 at 28%, showing a workforce of experienced older individuals. On educational attainment, 30% were high school graduates and 20% were college graduates, with others having varied academic backgrounds. Lastly, 29% had 46 years of service, 22% had 1 to 3 years, and 18% had over 10 years. Retention and mentorship programs are required to balance experience and new recruits.
Different emergencies experienced by barangay health workers. Storms were the most frequent emergency faced by BHWs, with a mean score of 3.3, followed by floods and insects infestations. In contrast, landslides, wildfires, and volcanic eruptions were the least experienced, with scores below 1.70. This shows that BHWs encounter both common and rare emergencies. These findings stress the need for multi-hazard preparedness, while storms and floods require regular response. Rare but severe events like pandemics and eruptions call for specialized trainings. Strengthening BHWs through education, support, and resources is key to building resilient communities.
Levels of emergency preparedness of barangay health workers. As a whole, they demonstrated a moderate level of preparedness with mean score 154.24. Among the specific areas, high levels of emergency preparedness were observed in the following: triage, reporting and accessing critical resources and biological agents. So this reflected barangay health workers' strengths in community-based health services. But there is still a need for better access to resources like PPE, diagnostic tools, and ICT as shown in the following results. A moderate level shown among incident command system, psychological issues in special populations, communication and connectivity, epidemiology and clinical decision-making, isolation, decontamination, and quarantine management. So there is a need for targeted training programs in advanced emergency protocols and psychosocial support. Now for emergency preparedness according to profile variables. Both sexes showed a moderate level of preparedness, with males at 152.92 and females at 154.36 mean scores. In terms of age, those 51 to 60 years old had a high level at 166.90, while younger age groups are all moderate. For educational attainment, elementary graduates scored 191.80 and college at 164.43, so this is both high, while the others indicated moderate. Lastly, by job tenure, only those with 7 to 10 years had a high level, while all the other groups showed moderate preparedness. Practical experience, community familiarity, and tailored training matter just as much as formal education to strengthen emergency preparedness across all attributes of barangay health workers.
Now, for inferential analysis, there is no significant relationship between emergency preparedness and sex, age, educational attainment, and job tenure, with p-values of 0.382, 0.240, 0.077, and 0.159 respectively. Emergency preparedness among barangay health workers is shaped by inclusive teamwork, practical hands-on training, and continuous mentoring, with strengths drawn from both younger and older workers. It's not determined by sex, age, formal education, or years of service. Regarding significant differences between emergency preparedness and profile variables, with sex, there is no significant difference with p-value of 0.890. Both male and female barangay health workers receive equal opportunities for training and capacity building. For job tenure, results were also non-significant with p-value of 0.358. Preparedness is built through regular training and mentorship rather than years of service alone. However, a significant difference was found when grouped according to age, with p-value of 0.014.
Further, post hoc analysis showed that the levels of emergency preparedness of barangay health workers aged 41 to 50 years old is significantly higher than those aged 51 to 60. Age adults have less physical capacity and may have different priorities with age related to their development.
Educational attainment showed a significant difference of p-value of 0.011.
Post hoc analysis showed that elementary graduate preparedness is significantly higher than those of vocational education. This may be due to greater participation in community based training or closer attachment to local disaster response networks.
In conclusion, barangay health workers exhibit a moderate overall level of emergency preparedness with greater proficiency linked to age and educational attainment, rather than sex or job tenure. Majority are female, middle-aged, high school graduates with mid-level tenure. Common emergencies are storms, floods, and insects infestations. High preparedness in triage, communications, and biological agents, but notable gaps in psychological support, quarantine, and ICS. Most prepared barangay health workers are in advanced middle adulthood with elementary or college education and mid-level tenure. For nursing education, it is important to apply tailored competency-based training programs that address specific skill gaps and support diverse learner profiles to strengthen emergency response capabilities in community health settings.
Recommendations goes to administrators to implement structured programs and barangay health workers to engage in continuous training, community members to actively participate, nursing research students to gain experience, and lastly, researchers to explore factors. And with that, we've come to the end of our presentation. The QR code for our references is now displayed on the screen. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to everyone who contributed to this study's success, our professors, the barangay health workers, and God Almighty. As we move forward, let us remember that emergency preparedness is not just a response, but a way of life. It's built on teamwork, continuous learning, and the unwavering commitment to protect lives when it matters most. Once again, thank you very much, and we wish you all a safe and meaningful day ahead.